In the continuation of the Deluxe Reading Dream Kitchen build, the laundry room. I began by constructing the door first. Since I was out of basswood, I used corrugated cardboard for it and the frame. At first I wasn't sure about this, but it actually added a bit of character to the space. The door and frame were constructed the same as those in the kitchen, double sides with 2 coats of gloss Mod Podge. The best part, the Mod Podge made the pieces rigid, lasting for years to come. To make the hinges, I use Q-tips, cutting the ends off, then cutting it in half. I then even the pieces, cutting more off the longest one. These pieces will allow the door to swing back and forth. I then pencil on the door the placement for the hinges, cut on the mark, then mark a small cut the width of the hinges. Next, I cut the end off one toothpick, then take a second one matching it, then cutting off its end. Glue is then put on the toothpicks, then attached to the door side, making sure to align them with the bottom and top edges. To make the handle, I cut the ends off a toothpick. These pieces are then reattached with hot glue, then beads of tacky glue. After penciling the placement for the handle on the door, holes are punched in the markings. Off camera, the handle was painted gunmetal gray. The toothpick points were snipped, then hot glued into place. Tacky glue was added for reinforcement, then brown paper tape was laid on top. The handle was then retouched. The top hinge is glued to the inside frame of the door, then the toothpick end is inserted into the hinge opening. The second hinge is pushed onto the toothpick, then glued to the inside frame. The technique for making these hinges can be found on Fun and Craft on YouTube. I'll leave the link to the video in the description. Though the technique was fine, it did not keep the door in place, so a thin 1-inch strip of foam board was glued to the sides of each hinge, allowing the pieces to adhere to the exposed foam board inside the door. The arrows point where this was done. Now the door swings forward and back freely. As much as I enjoyed the whimsy of the dots on the door, the pieces clashed with the new ideas I had for the laundry room. As in the case with the kitchen walls, 1 coat of white, then 2 coats of toasted marshmallow acrylic paints were applied to the wall. When deciding on flooring for the laundry room, I thought of the bathroom of my first apartment. Going on Etsy, I found exactly that, a hexagon mosaic design by Eugenia of Whimsy and Baubles. Downloading the file provided by Eugenia, I took it to Office Depot to print the flooring. The laundry room space is 17.5 inches by 24 inches, so it was rounded to 18 inches by 25 inches. The flooring was printed on gloss paper and the order ready in a few hours. I'm marking where to trim the flooring to fit. Time to lay the flooring. I'm so pleased with how the flooring turned out. Many thanks to Office Depot and Eugenia for doing fantastic jobs. I'll leave the link to her Etsy shop in the description. The final step in this installment was attaching the wall where the washer and dryer will be. The opening is where the dryer will be connected. Stay tuned for this week's video on the washer and dryer. Until then, thank you so very much for watching.